You're listening to What's Hot Washington. I'm your host, April Watts, and joining me via telephone is one of the most dynamic women I know. This woman is making mountains move, let me tell you. Lindsey Mask, phenomenal woman and founder of Ladies America. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. That's quite an introduction. We should stop now.
So, Lindsey, you're here today to talk about the second annual Women Leading the Future Conference. But first, let's talk a little bit about your professional background because you've done some interesting things. Can you give the listeners a quick professional outline?
Yeah, and it's one of those things, and I think it's important for people to hear. I have to say the whole time I thought I was going in all these different directions, but when you look back, it really does flow very nicely, and I realized that it got me to where I am right now. And I started off in broadcast journalism, actually, just like you, TV, however, and it was during that time that I realized that the people I was really watching or covering were political. And so it really I had a mind shift and decided rather than be in front of the camera, I wanted to be a part of the people we were always covering in our reports. So I moved into politics, political communications. I did that for 4 years in Texas and then moved to D.C. and did it for 6 years in Washington, D.C. Mm-hmm. And throughout that entire time, there were certain things that I was learning that it was really actually very difficult for a young woman to meet and connect in that political space. Is largely dominated by men, and I found that I always went where the most important people were. I was trying, and it was always men. And what I had ultimately done, too, was alienated myself from female colleagues. Mm-hmm. And I found that put me in quite a pickle a couple of times. And so when I reflected on it later, I realized that if I had had someone to help me understand that if I was connecting better with the women in my offices or in those spaces, that we together were just as strong and just as significant, that I didn't need to be chasing power down all of the time, if that makes any sense at all. And I learned that it really kind of transcended into a lot of different industries. So when I moved to D.C., I was actually trying to figure out the best way to figure out if there was a magic formula that I was missing in connecting with other women with whom I was working. Mm-hmm. And so I invited 5 women to dinner, and I asked if they would meet with me every month regularly and make sort of a pact to do so that we could just connect, that it was a place outside of the office where we could still be professional, but it was okay to talk about our favorite pair of shoes and not have people glare at us. And what I learned, even though I tried to keep that small, was that all these women were looking for the exact same thing and didn't even realize it. And so the next thing I knew, it was 20 people, and then it was 40 people, and then it was 200 people. It hit 400 people. I was like, 400 people? I'm not even trying to make this happen. This is just happening. That means there's something here, right? There's a void being filled that I didn't even realize they all had as well. So 2 things I learned. There is no magic formula, and everyone's looking for it. So I said, you know what, I'm going to make this something more formalized. So I wrote a business, and I wrote out in my business plan the expansion to other cities, which is what has happened. It seemed like the minute I wrote it down and I sort of visualized it and realized the possibilities behind it, that it really started to come to pass. So now we have D.C., New York, Texas, North Carolina, Pittsburgh. We have a few other cities that are under works in Seattle, L.A., and San Francisco.
The amazing thing about it, Lindsey, I watched Ladies D.C. become Ladies America in all of these different cities in what seemed like no time. This organization has grown exponentially. So you definitely are filling a need that women have, right. Which leads me to the conference. Talk to me about Women Leading the Future. That is a powerful title. What is the mission of the event?
It really is to not only connect, there's always that connection, because I think too often women are afraid to ask for help, to seek out resources. There's this mindset that you have to strive on your own, and then that proves that you are a successful woman or professional. And this really opens up those gates and says, this is okay, and this is how we actually do it better. So there's this theory of rising tides raises all boats, and it is certainly the model that we've used for Ladies America, and that is we are not territorial over our space. We invite in other women's organizations. I want their leaders. I have leaders from other women's organizations in Manhattan. They're coming in to speak at our conference, which I don't think is common, but we want to unite. We become sort of an aggregator for other women's organizations, and we now cover every industry. So rather than just be focused on one niche area, this truly is a network in all ways because it covers all these industries. So you can largely get anything you want accomplished through this one organization. So we unite, we educate, and we inspire. I am still pinching myself. I can't even believe the lineup. The COO of Startup America. I know.
Who are some of the panelists?
Yeah, exactly. So the COO of Startup America, the Executive Director of Vital Voices, an international women's organization that was co-founded by Hillary Clinton's former Chief of Staff, and it is so incredibly successful. We have authors coming in from New York. One young woman who spoke at TEDx, she had her book self-published. Mm-hmm. She's gone all over the world with it. And at the same time, I have a man who wrote an entire book on entrepreneurship, Shake the World. He's coming in from New York to speak at our conference. We have women in healthcare, women in technology. We have a representative from the World Bank coming to show us a report that they spent years putting together about how women are impacting the economy. We also have, which is very unique, I decided I want to have a panel of just men at a women's conference. Mm-hmm. I want to hear from them. Why is it so important to them that we're doing well? I mean, why are they investing all that time in us? And I think we're going to hear some fascinating answers to that. That, and I want to see what they see about what we're doing and what they think maybe we could learn from them. What are we doing differently? Are we thinking too much? Are we doing too much of the little work? I mean, what do they see as men who seem to do things with greater ease at times than we do? Is there something that they're seeing that we maybe aren't hearing? Because we also talk to each other all the time, right? I want to hear from them.
Very interesting. I cannot wait until Saturday, May 5th. Trust me on that. Now, to make it simple, who should be at this conference? Who should attend?
Really, really, truly. The ages vary. I would say you would want to stick to a professional woman. Now, that doesn't mean you're not a mother. It doesn't mean you're not a wife. You can, and you can still be very professional. A lot of working moms or moms, stay-at-home moms, have side businesses. So just have some professional component to it because this will all have that as part of it. But age range, we do not put limits on ages. If a woman feels like a young professional woman, like, who are we to tell them they aren't?
Exactly.
I mean, I want to feel young when I'm 50, and I'm going to pop into a young women's professional networking conference for sure.
Exactly.
But really, we do have, it's all ranges. I can't think of another conference where you could really take in so many different varieties and it work for everybody. And I've already decided I don't think I should be speaking that day because not only am I exhausted, but I feel pretty wound up about it. Like, I'm pretty emotional about how amazing I think this is.
Oh, my goodness. I was looking forward to you speaking, but I'll have to catch you speak somewhere at some other time. But, Lindsey, someone somewhere may be thinking, hey, it's 2012. The American social scale is more balanced now than it's ever been. Is there really a need to have a conference that focuses on women's issues? What would you say to that person who might be thinking that?
Absolutely. And we are seeing increases of women in education and certainly climbing ladders of leadership. But it is nowhere near where it needs to be. It just isn't. And what my ultimate goal is to see some balance in all these systems, because I believe that there is a perfect merge of masculine qualities and feminine qualities and the ideas and the ways that we process things. I think if we balance those things out, certainly it's illustrated a lot in businesses. When women come into businesses in executive roles, you see higher retention rates. You see more productivity. You see certain areas, certain key areas that are impacted, and I think it's because of the qualities, the feminine qualities that are brought into that atmosphere. So we don't do that yet. At the very, very top level of Fortune 500 companies, do you know how many women are executives?
Probably
3%.
About 1%. That's
it's 3%. It just hit 3% with the new CEO of IBM. Before that, it was 1.5. 3%. That's it. So, certainly we need to see some more work in these areas. Also, political leadership. We have 17% of females in Congress. Well, I'm going to guess. I think there's more than half the population is female. That means that they're not represented in our own political structure. And I think really at the core of it is just encouraging women. I think uniting them to give them the confidence and the courage to speak out more about their real opinions without feeling like they need to guard them or that somebody's not going to take them seriously. If we sort of unite together, we can actually help each other get to where we want to go. And there's room enough at the top for everyone. There really is. There's just room at the top. We don't have to kick each other back down. There's room for all of us. And I'd like to see women speaking out more, becoming more thought leaders, and knowing that they're bringing value to the table.
Well, if your zest and passion about this is an inkling of what we're going to see on Saturday, we have to get the information so people can rush out and participate.
Yes, absolutely. So the website is www.womenleadingthefuture.org. And you just click register and sign up and join us, and we welcome you with open arms. We are really just so excited about it.
How much are the tickets? What time is the conference and where?
Of course. So the conference is from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m., heavy speaker series. And then from 3 we have networking cocktail reception. Those are the times, and the location is Microsoft in Chevy Chase. They reached out to us and offered us this beautiful space with high technology, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. And it's right off the Friendship Heights Metro, the Red Line. And the ticket prices are $95 for just a regular attendee. It is $75 for students, and for Hill staff.
Well, I'm excited. Once again, the website is womenleadingthefuture.org.
Thank you. And if anyone's listening and they're like, well, I'm not 100% sure if I can spare $100 or $75, let us know. Email us. We do have some scholarships available, and we're responding to any inquiries like that. So we want people to be there rather than not be there.
That is so wonderful. Well, Lindsey, thank you so much because you're a busy woman.
Thank you so much for you. I appreciate the time.
To our audience. Thank you, thank you. What's Hot Washington will definitely be there on Saturday, so I look forward to seeing you.
Thank you so much.